The room went silent when the famous singer smirked and said, "Since you love music so much, sing, alone." She expected embarrassment, laughter, a broken voice. What she didn't expect was a sound so pure, so powerful, it would expose her deepest fear and change her forever. Stay with this story until the end, because talent doesn't ask for permission. And before we begin, like this video and subscribe to Everbell's Tales Hall, where hidden voices finally get heard. The rehearsal hall shimmered with polished wood floors, golden lights, and echoes of fame. Posters of Serena Vale, multi-platinum singer, global icon, judge on the country's most watched music competition, lined the walls. Her voice had sold out stadiums, won awards, and silenced critics. Yet that afternoon, her patience was gone. Rehearsals had dragged on. The sound system malfunctioned twice, and nothing felt perfect. Serena hated imperfection. She thrived on control, on knowing that when she opened her mouth, the world listened. Near the back of the hall, quietly sweeping the floor, stood a janitor named Eli Carter. He had worked at the studio for over a year, always arriving early, always leaving late. Most people barely noticed him except for one thing. He hummed, softly, constantly, not pop tunes or radio hits, but melodies that felt old, deep, almost sacred. Some staff found it soothing. Serena did not. "Can someone tell him to stop?" she snapped, pointing sharply toward Eli without looking directly at him. The room stiffened. A stage manager approached Eli, whispering something apologetically. Eli nodded and lowered his head, but the damage was done. Serena turned, finally facing him. "You like singing?" she asked loudly. Eli froze. "I just a habit," he said quietly. She smiled, but it wasn't warm. "Habits are dangerous in professional spaces," she replied, "unless you're good." A few nervous laughs rippled through the room. Serena stood up, heels clicking with authority. "Tell you what," she said, folding her arms. "Since you enjoy music so much, come here." Eli hesitated. Every instinct told him not to move, but dozens of eyes were already on him. Slowly, he stepped forward, his broom abandoned like a confession. "Sing," Serena said flatly. "No backing track, no safety net, just you." The room erupted in uncomfortable murmurs. This wasn't encouragement, it was a trap, a public humiliation disguised as a test. Eli's throat tightened. He hadn't sung out loud in years, not since his mother passed. Not since life taught him that dreams didn't pay rent. "I don't think," he began. Serena raised an eyebrow. "What? Afraid?" She tilted her head. "Come on, entertain us." Eli closed his eyes. Eli closed. He could feel the weight of judgment pressing down on him, technicians, backup singers, assistants, all waiting for him to fail. He took a breath, one breath, and when he opened his mouth, the sound that emerged wasn't timid. It wasn't uncertain. It was raw, deep, soulful. The first note stopped the room cold. Conversations died mid-sentence. Someone dropped a clipboard. Eli's voice wasn't loud, it was controlled, rich and haunting. It carried pain, longing, and strength all at once. He sang a melody his mother used to sing when the world felt cruel. As he reached higher, his voice didn't crack, it soared. Notes Serena had trained years to reach, but never truly mastered. Serena's smile vanished. Her arms slowly dropped to her sides. This wasn't mockery anymore. This was threat. Eli sang without looking at anyone, eyes closed, completely exposed. When he finished, silence followed, thick, stunned, reverent. No applause, no laughter, just shock. Serena felt something twist in her chest, fear. Not of failure, but of being surpassed. She cleared her throat sharply. "That's enough," she said. Her voice sounded smaller than usual. Eli nodded, quietly returning to his place, but the room had changed. Everyone felt it. The janitor they mocked had just revealed a truth none of them were ready for. The silence lingered long after Eli returned to sweeping, his hands trembling now, not from fear, but from release. He hadn't meant to sing like that. He hadn't planned to remember. But once the sound escaped him, it carried years of buried grief, love, and resilience. Around the room, people avoided Serena's eyes. She stood frozen, staring at the empty space where Eli had sung, her heartbeat loud in her ears. She had spent her life being the best. And in one unguarded moment, someone invisible had reached higher than she ever could. Rehearsal ended early that day. People left in hushed groups, whispers trailing behind them like echoes. "Did you hear that note? Where did he learn to sing like that?" Serena remained behind, sitting alone on the stage. Her reflection in the mirror looked unfamiliar, less powerful, more human. She had built her empire on talent, but also on intimidation, on making sure no one stood too close to her light. And now, that light flickered. Later that evening, Serena found Eli in the hallway, packing his cleaning supplies. "You!" she said. He turned, cautious. "Yes," she hesitated, something she rarely did. "Where did you learn to sing?" Eli shrugged. "My mother," he said simply. "She sang in church, taught me before I could read." Serena scoffed weakly. "Why waste it?" she asked. Eli met her gaze for the first time. "Because the world doesn't always make room for voices like mine," he said. "Some of us sing only when we're not being watched." Those words haunted her. That night, Serena couldn't sleep. Every award on her wall felt heavier. Every standing ovation felt louder but emptier. She realized she hadn't sung from the heart in years, only from habit, from expectation, from fear of being replaced. The next day, she made a decision that shocked her entire team. She invited Eli back into the rehearsal hall, not to clean, but to sing with her. The room held its breath as they stood side by side. Serena spoke first. "Yesterday I tried to break you," she said quietly. "Because I was afraid." Eli said nothing. "I was afraid because you reminded me why I started singing in the first place." They sang together, not a competition, not a performance, a harmony. Eli's voice grounded, Serena's voice lifted. For the first time in years, she sang freely, not to impress, but to feel. When the final note faded, the room erupted in applause, real applause, earned. Serena arranged vocal training for Eli, introduced him to producers, but more importantly, she stepped back. She let his voice exist without control. Eli didn't become famous overnight. He didn't want to, but he began singing openly at events, at small concerts, at places where people needed hope more than perfection. Months later, Serena stood backstage as Eli finished a solo performance. The crowd rose to its feet. She smiled not with envy, but with gratitude, because the voice she once tried to silence had saved her from becoming empty. If this story moved you and reminded you that true talent can come from the most unexpected places, please like this video and subscribe to Ever Bell's Tales. Your support helps us share stories where hidden voices rise and humility finds its harmony.